What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Upstate Maverick. My name is Nick, and I want to tell you about my new project that I got within the last couple weeks. So back when I was like 18, 19 years old, I had this 2010 Chevy Tahoe that I loved. The thing could tow 8,000 pounds. I had taken all the seats out of the back of it and basically built like a bed platform, and I had a place for my dog Maverick to sleep, and I camped all over in that thing. I put tens of thousands of miles just going to the Adirondacks and the White Mountains in New Hampshire and up to Maine at like Acadia National Park, and we went to Cape Cod, took the thing to Myrtle Beach. It was a phenomenal vehicle, and I don't have that anymore. I just have a 2013 Ford Focus hatchback, which I did a lot of camping and that was much more fuel efficient, and I still slept in that thing quite a bit. But I had basically built out that Tahoe way back when, that was 7-8 years ago now, to be like an overlanding type vehicle before I even really knew what overlanding was. And here on the East Coast, we don't really have overlanding properly like they do out west, where they're going on these crazy trails and doing all this stuff. But I want to mimic that vehicle, but now that I have, I'm older and I have some funds and I can actually do things much better than I did back then. Maybe I'll show some clips throughout this build process of that old build process, because I used to have a YouTube channel back then too, so I have a lot of videos of that too. I want to mimic that and kind of make it better with now this 2010 Chevy Suburban that I now have. So you might ask, why a Suburban? This is a LS, base model, doesn't have the TVs in the roof or a moon roof or anything that I have to worry about. I wanted as simple of a Suburban as possible. I didn't go for the 9th gen. This is a 10th gen, just because I wanted some of that modern feeling when I'm driving it. But so unfortunately, this does have the 5.3 with the AFM. It shuts down some of the cylinders when you're driving. But other than that, these are really reliable vehicles. Parts are super cheap for them. They have a great 4x4 system, 4 high, 4 low. They can tow, I think it's 8,100 pounds it's rated for, which is plenty enough for me to be able to pull a side-by-side or the lawnmower somewhere or get a load of lumber or whatever. Towing super easy. I have a lot of plans for this, and I kind of want to just walk you around what I've already done and what I'm planning to do. And you might ask, why a Suburban? Why not go back to the Tahoe? And obviously for off-roading, that extra length is not ideal. But I'm 6'2", I have a fiance, and I have 2 dogs, well, 3 dogs, 2 of which are 65, 70 pounds, and the other's like 50. We need some space. So obviously I didn't want to go with a van. These are much more inexpensive than a van, high top Sprinter van type deal. These have really robust 4x4 systems, as opposed to having to pay, another $30,000 to have Quigley do it for a van or whatever. So we're kind of combining as much functionality as possible into one vehicle. I want, like I said, something that I could tow, something I could also just daily drive. So I have a lot of upgrades that I want to walk you through. I'll talk about kind of what I've already done. I put these rain guards on here pretty much just because when I'm camping or sleeping in this thing, I want to be able to vent the windows without worrying about rain coming in, especially if you leave the dogs in it. Right now it's 95 degrees outside, so I wouldn't be leaving the dogs in it today, but if I was to be leaving the dogs in there when it's 60 out, you got to be able to crack the windows, vent it, let them be in there. Unfortunately, during transport, I went down and looked at this thing. It's from Texas. It only has 60,000 miles on it, so it's very rust-free, especially for being up here in New York. You don't see something that's 14, 15 years old with no rust on it, and thankfully I have that. But like I said, 60,000 miles, so been hardly driven. I went down and looked at it, and then I had it shipped back up, and the windshield got cracked, so I'm getting the windshield replaced tomorrow. Another thing I did was replace these lift struts. They're super inexpensive and really easy to do, so if you have one of these or whatever, it's worth the $25 for that easier open. And I actually did these two and the ones for the back glass, which I could probably show you real quick. This thing's super clean. And it pops that, and those lift up a lot better than they were, and they actually hold really well. So everything works on this. I don't have any issues. It does seem like somebody had some kind of big sound system in this at one point, because I have some Definitely not factory wiring, but they did a really clean job with it that runs in through the firewall, and it's all redone and everything. That comes back, and it looks like it was for an amp that was in the back. So there's some kind of weird, quirky things, but lots of space. Just kind of working on figuring out exactly what I want to do. And because this is from Texas, I don't know if you saw that when I had the gate open, but some of this weather stripping and stuff like that's all dried out and cracking apart. So just kind of want to give you a quick pre-tour before we get into this build, because I want to do a build series of all the things I'm going to be doing to this, because this is a huge part of my life. Camping, hiking. I mean, I have tattooed on my arm Adirondack 46er. I've climbed all the high peaks in the Adirondacks. It's one of the most instrumental things in my life, really important to me. So we have kind of a plan so far, and I'll just kind of probably pop you off the tripod and show you what that plan is. I've had the truck a couple weeks, but I'm going to a bachelor party. I'm a best man for a wedding coming up, and I want to be able to, you know, still have everybody in here, so I didn't want to start ripping everything apart. But the plan is, in the back here, to have a drawer system, 2 drawers, full length, all the way to where these second row seats would be if they were installed. I'm gonna normally not have them installed, but I want to be able to keep that built-in drawer system and platform back here all the time, so that even if I do have, for whatever reason, need to put these seats back in, that these drawers can still be back here. So that'll be part of the bed platform back here. Planning to build cubbies up the side on this side for sure. I'm gonna start with that, maybe eventually this side, but it is nice to be able to see out that window, you know, whenever you're driving, just to be able to check your blind spots. So we'll decide about that later, but that's the plan. I just got a power station that's gonna be coming that'll be powering a fridge. I would like to do a little bit of a lift and put 33s on this at some point. Everything's super clean in here. I don't like the inside color, but I love the silver. Silver or white was what I was looking for. I wanted it to be very light colored for camping, just to help reflect some of the heat. I have a black car, so seats are really good condition. I just threw these cheap seat covers I already had back from when I did have the Tahoe. I just threw them on there just to help protect them while I'm doing my life. I also bought Husky floor mats. These are actually very nice, and I got them pretty inexpensive. They fit contoured in there very nicely. I also ordered just a portable CarPlay system. I think it made more sense than doing the double din. I liked all the features of the portable ones. It was way less expensive, and I'm just going to mount it on the dash, and we'll start with that and see what we want to do, because that can always be moved into the hatchback Ford Focus if need be. And planning on taking out this center console. I want to get that out of there, and that's where the fridge will live. So I would like to have the storage of the center console, but I don't really care for this, to be honest. It feels like it's too far forward. These cup holders really suck. They don't hold Nalgene water bottles. They're just too small, or just slightly too small, but they also don't hold my Nalgene bottle cup holder, so it's kind of a pain. But you can see that crack in the windshield, so that'll be replaced tomorrow. Something I really want to do is get, I don't know if you've ever seen these. If you're looking at Suburban builds, you might be curious about them, but I really want to get a baseline overland roof rack to put up there. I've been really eyeing that baseline overland roof rack for a couple reasons. You don't have to drill any extra holes. You just remove these factory rails, and they actually reuse those holes. And they have a bunch of slats going across. So I could reuse my topper box that I used to use on my Ford Focus if I want to add extra storage up here. It'll also be super easy to mount solar panels for my power station. That power station I really want for the fridge. Eventually, this is going to be crazy, and maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll back out of it and chicken out of it, but I would really like to cut a hole in the roof of this to put like a Max Air fan or Fantastic fan, whatever. I got to do some more research to make sure I get exactly what I want, but I want to put a fan in the back of this, because something I absolutely hate is trying to sleep when it's too hot. So that baseline overland rack, they're really expensive, but by the time you piece together a roof rack, it's almost the same price, and that's custom built for a Suburban. So the owner actually has this model, 10th gen Suburban. His might be a Yukon XL, but same thing. So he has built like this custom roof rack that's really integrated. It has a ton of crossbars. You can put boxes on it. You can use it as a cargo basket. You can add a cargo basket to it, mount whatever up there. Just tons of versatility. So I would like that because I'd like to put, eventually my vision would be to have topper box on top, 2 100-watt solar panels, just because of the size. It'd make more sense than a 200-watt solar panel, and a cutout for the fan. And I'd also like to be able to have a spot to, you know, tie that screen house that you saw in the back or whatever, or maybe a portable shower. These are all just visions. Some other things I am doing, I actually just got them today. Maybe we'll open them on camera. I'm adding ditch lights to the front, and I'm going to use an aux beam 8-gang switch panel. So I'm going to pull that in through the firewall and have that nicely mounted inside. I also need to add a brake controller for whenever I'm using the car trailer. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, and it's all expensive, so it'll probably be slow going. Probably will hold off on doing the fan this year. Maybe I will. There's just a couple little odds and ends things. I'm going to need tires at some point. I want to find some black rims because I like that look. Yeah, so definitely be prepared for some Suburban build videos on this channel. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the shop's a mess right now, but I figured I'd just do a quick little unboxing for you on these lights, just so we could kind of look at them together. Got a pretty good deal on these. They were both on sale, so I'm not sure what the deal is with the plastic bags. I don't know if they just worry about them getting wet prior to being installed, but I sure hope they're okay to be in the elements, because probably watching me struggle with this. This is my EDC knife. I've been carrying this thing for like 2 years, and the only reason I do is because it has a flathead screwdriver on the end of it. Kershaw Shuffle. I think this is the Shuffle 2. I don't drink, so the bottle opener doesn't really appeal to me, but that flathead screwdriver does. I need it to get into my control panels at work, and it's nice if you don't have one. So here are the ditch lights. You see my first reaction. Oh yeah, those are nice looking. I don't know if I'll go with amber. I think I might get another set of these to put in the fog light spot, because this doesn't have fog lights because it's an LS model. But I would like some amber lights to have down low for fog lights. Being in the Northeast, it's always foggy. It's just the way it is because it's always so humid here. So these will be awesome. I can take that lens off and just have a white lens. Comes with all the factory mounting stuff. Pretty high-end stuff there. Let's just check out the switch. Well, I shouldn't say high-end. It's aux beam, so I think it's better than Nylite, but I don't think it's, you know, it's not Baja Designs. It's not KC, but I would have bought a brand new Suburban if I had that kind of money, and I would have bought all that stuff, you know. So 8-gang switch panel. I'm pretty excited about this. It's kind of a single wire that communicates back to a relay box. I think this will actually be super skookum. So this will be what mounts inside the vehicle. This is great. This is actually a lot smaller than I thought. And they come with a bunch of custom stickers that you can put on there. This is going to be awesome. I'm actually quite excited about this. You saw that live on camera there. So that is one of the many life updates that I have for you guys. I actually filmed a video like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I have not edited it and posted it. Life has been crazy. I can give you just a 2-minute synopsis of what happened. I got engaged, which you would have seen if you watched my very last video. I did mention that very briefly. And then like 4 or 5 days after that, my fiance was in a major car accident. It was a big pileup, and I thought we were going to lose her. And it turns out everybody was okay, but the way that, you know, everything kind of went down, it was not clear to me how critical or not critical it was, or what kind of condition she was in. So it was a very stressful 2 hours then, and now we're dealing with the financial repercussions, and that's part of the reason of why I bought this, because she's now driving my old hatchback, which is fine. And we're going to be married in September, so we've got about 3 months left to plan the wedding. That's not right. 2.5 months, is that right? 2.5 months to plan the wedding. You can see the fear in my eyes. Yeah, so just a lot of crazy things going on. I ran a half marathon. I set a personal best time. And then lately I've just been eating junk food, and life's, you know, work's been crazy. It's been so hot here. Firewood's been nuts. I want to do some videos on my firewood. we've been doing really well. I think we sold over 300 bundles already this year. So I'll probably show you that process. I got to be somewhere in about 45 minutes, an hour. So hopefully I can go do some resplitting after I film this video. I'd like to get this posted today. I really want to get back to hitting those at least weekly videos. That was the goal. So I really appreciate you guys watching. You know, all the support's really awesome. So whatever you guys think of this build, let me know. And catch you guys in the next video.